All right. All right, guys. Welcome, Wine Warriors, to our team call. It is August 23rd. That's crazy. It's almost fall already. It seems like it just became summertime. We have an awesome guest tonight. It's not my doing. Jennifer O'Keefe is actually the one that found this gentleman, and he has some amazing value to offer us. Oh, Jen! All right, hop on. Go ahead. Are you unmuted? Here, I'm gonna mute all the lines and then unmute yourself. Okay, unmute yourself one more time, Jen. You there?
Hey, I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Put you down. I'm gonna get change real quick.
Okay.
Come with me. Come with me.
I'm on the beach. I'm on vacation this week, and it's super loud here.
Mom, tell me. I need to mute lines.
Can you guys hear me?
Barely.
Yeah.
Hey, so Sherry, if you want, you can introduce Jimmie Jayes. I'm actually on vacation in the beach,
Yes, I will absolutely do that.
and I super appreciate you.
Yeah, I knew Jen was probably going to be out of good. So awesome. So thank you, Jimmie, for being
Any
here.
minute.
So I don't know how to, like, the people are still unmuted. And it's crazy. Sorry, guys. I got to do it again. People keep hopping on, and they're unmuted, and then they're loud. So, all right. Sorry about that, guys. Jennifer, get some wine. All right, so Jimmie Jayes, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to put you on speaker view in just a moment. So Jimmie Jayes, I'm going to kind of be reading because I don't really know much about you yet, but I'm so excited to learn like what you're bringing to the table. So he is the creator of Meetup Marketer and the founder of JimmieJayes.com. He helps serious network marketers massively grow the number of new friends they meet, so they will always have a consistent stream of new people to recruit into their business, which, my God, we all need that, don't we? Like, we always are like, we're running out of people to talk to. And he does this without having to spam strangers and make cold calls. That's awesome. His philosophy is make friends, show your friends your business, stay friends, whether they join you or not. And that's absolutely true. So it's not just theory. He has personally used this philosophy to do over $13 million in team sales in just 3 years, creating $6.5 million in commissions that has been paid to his team, which is absolutely incredible. On top of growing his own network marketing business, Jimmie has now helped network marketers from multiple companies build successful meetup groups. In fact, over the last 12 months, he has helped 227 network marketers create a combined 217,000 local targeted leads so that they can hit their new ranks, increase their income, and create predictable, profitable business that gives them the lifestyle and freedom they deserve. So today he's going to help us do the exact same thing, and I'm super excited to announce Jimmie Jayes to our team call. So take it away, Jimmie.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. I'm very excited to be with you here today. What I'm going to do is actually share some slides with you so that I can kind of go through this with you here. And this is actually a presentation that Jennifer was on a little while ago, and she said that she absolutely loved it and wanted me to share it with all of you wonderful wine warriors. So I'm going to do my best to give you what's normally a 90-minute webinar in 60. So if I go a little bit fast through parts, I hope you forgive me. And like Joe said, just grab some wine, and then you should be able to keep up with my fast pace. Okay, so what we're going to be talking about today is the rejection-free and fun way to attract targeted leads and recruit them into your direct seller's business. And I'm going to show you how to do it without being pushy, salesy, or chasing people. And just to confirm in the chat box, if you can let me know that you can see my slides okay, so I don't go 5 minutes in with no slides. Cool. So I'm going to show you all this today by giving you an example about how David attracted 372 targeted leads in just 36 days, all while doing something that he loves. And I'll also share with you how I recruited 25 people in just 21 days using what I call the Meetup launch method. So in case we haven't met yet, Jimmie Jayes here, known as the highest paid Meetup organizer and consultant on the planet, exclusively servicing the MLM industry. $13 million in team sales and $6.5 million in commissions to my team in the last 2 years, and the creator of Meetup Marketer, which is the A to Z guide to becoming, to be able to recruit from Meetup by becoming the local trusted authority. And today I'm going to show you how to do the same thing. So here's what you're going to learn by sticking around today. I'm going to show you how to tap into an existing database of prospects on meetup.com who already want to drink wine and be social, which is pretty cool. I'm going to show you a rejection-free way to get leads. I'm going to show you how to get prospects chasing you rather than you chasing prospects. I'm going to show you a very simple process for you to be able to make friends, show your friends your business, and stay friends whether they join you or not. And lastly, I'm going to show you a very simple way for you to get 25,000 prospects for you and a number of people on your team in the next 12 months, which I understand is a giant promise, but I promise that I will back it up, and I promise that it'll be a lot simpler than you might think. So here is my question for you. Sorry about the background noise there. My question for you is, go ahead in the chat box, and my question is, if I can show you a rejection-free way to get leads, like literally a way where you don't ever talk to somebody unless they've already circled yes and said, yes, please contact me. If I can show you a way to do that by the end of this webinar, are you ready to stick till the end of the webinar? Are you ready to take notes? Are you ready to engage, ask questions, and really be here with me? So let me know in the chat box if you're down with that. And Zoe, my assistant here, is wonderful assistant working from home. She's got probably kids in the background, and she's taking notes on these. So I can't see all the comments as they come in, but she will get with them for me. Awesome. The next question I have for you is, if I can show you a way to get 25,000 prospects in your team in the next 12 months. So if I can show you a way to be able to do that, are you ready not only to be on the webinar, not only to stay till the end, but are you ready to protect your environment? Are you ready to change rooms if you have to, log out of Facebook, hand the screaming baby off to somebody else, do whatever you need to do to treat this like you just spent $1,000 to sit front row in an event? So go ahead and throw a 5 into the chat box if you're ready to do that, provided that I can show you how to get 25,000 prospects in the next 12 months. Awesome. And lastly, if I can follow through on all of this, so if at the end of this webinar you're like, this is the most valuable 60 minutes of my entire year, and I followed through all these promises, and if I give you a ton of great content and training that's actionable for free here today, would it be okay with you if I took 10, 15 minutes at the end of the webinar and let you know about a way for us to continue working together, and let me tell you a little bit about my online course for those of you who want more information about that? Would that be okay? Let me know with a yes, a no, or a heck yes. We got a little bit of background noise from, I think, a car. So if you're driving, if you can hit mute, or if you're moderating, if there's some way to mute that would be fantastic. All right, so lots of yeses. Let's get rolling. So why is this important to you now? Well, most of what you and I have learned about prospecting and recruiting, unfortunately, is dead wrong. And there's more MLM companies before and more reps than ever before. In fact, last year there were 89 million network marketers is what the DSA reported. And they're fighting for the attention of the exact same prospects. So it's important for you to find a way to stand out from the crowd. And social media has made it easy for prospects to find and join the gurus online who have big online marketing budgets rather than joining you. So is this for you? Well, if you've been calling the same people for months and months, or even for years, this training is for you. If you want to be the local trusted authority and consistently recruit new reps, then this is for you. If your downline's wondering why you don't have more guests at events or why you're not recruiting more people, and what you want is a predictable stream of prospects so that you can recruit more and lead by example, then this is for you. And if you've been taught to talk to the person behind you at the grocery store or Facebook spam people, and what you'd really like to do is to add value and build authority with your prospects, then you're going to love this. And lastly, if you ever wondered, is this person screening my calls, right? Like, is my friend sending me to voicemail, or did this stranger give me the wrong number? You're going to love this because I'm going to show you a method that will allow you to only call people who have already requested your help. So, a couple house rules up front. First of all, no get rich quickers. I know that what you teach there and what the leadership teaches is not get rich quick, but if that's what you're expecting from this webinar or what you're expecting from me, you will be disappointed. So I'm going to show you how to get some leverage. I'm going to show you how to make more friends and get more prospects in one evening than what most network marketers do in an entire month. So I'll show you how to save time and to get some leverage, but it still will require work. It won't be get rich quick. And number two, no takers. So if your philosophy is just me, I need more customers, I need more business partners, and you're not really too worried or concerned about the people that you bring in and helping them, then, first of all, I don't want to teach you. Second of all, and my favorite part about Meetup is even if I do teach you, none of it will work, because Meetup will only work if you're willing to have a servant-driven heart and willing to add value to people before, asking them to buy something from you. So no takers. And lastly, my results are not even remotely typical. So I think I mentioned, for any of you that saw the pre-training, you know that in the last 3 years, we've done, I've personally enrolled 38 people, which has turned into over 6,000 distributors and 35,000 customers. So you don't have to recruit a lot of people. You just have to recruit the right people. But my results are not even remotely typical. And most people who buy any How to Make Money training will not make any money whatsoever, for the same reason that most people who buy treadmills don't lose any weight. And it's not because the treadmill doesn't work. You gotta put the work in, right? So if you're good with all of those, then let's get into it. Quick confession is all of the examples that I'm going to show you today all came from cities with at least 60,000 people in them. So I'm going to use a lot of case studies, not theory. I'm going to show you a lot of real world case studies. All of the ones that I'm using all came from cities with at least 60,000 in them. So can you use Meetup in a smaller city? Sure. But all the examples from today, came from bigger cities. So you can kind of expect that if you're in a smaller city, your numbers will be smaller than what I'm about to share. So let's see. This is the real, I'm going to start with a really high-level version, and then I'm going to get into some real nitty-gritty details. So you don't have to take any notes yet. I just love a little bit of introduction. So network marketing, we got this top of the mountain goal. Right? As soon as you get started, you've got a top of the mountain goal. And your goal is, if I could make X number of dollars a month, that would allow me to Y. Okay, so if I can make $3,000 a month, that would allow me and my wife to stay home with our kids. That was my first goal. If I could make 20 grand a month, I could retire my parents. So I could make $1,000 a month, I could pay off some bills. So what I want you to do is in the chat box, let me know what is your top of the mountain goal. And the format is, if I could make X number per month, that would allow me to Y. So go ahead and pop that into the box here. I'll give you a second in the chat box. X number of dollars would allow me to Y, and make sure that you give me that formula. So X number of dollars will allow me to Y. So retire my husband is my end goal. Another retire my husband. Awesome. So let me know about how much a month that would need. $5 grand a month would allow me to retire my husband. 5,000 a week, I'd be debt free. 1,500 a month, that would allow me to quit my day job. Retire my wife, 10 grand a month. 6 grand a month would allow me to quit my job. 5,000 to run the show. 3,500 to retire my husband. Okay, awesome. So some really great stuff in here. So we all set this goal, right? We get started, we've got our goal, and then we start our journey up the top of the mountain. And we're going towards whatever this top of the mountain goal is. And for most of us, if the goal that you have is like more than making maybe $2,000 a month, right? If whatever you told me was higher than $2,000 a month, for a lot of us, not all of us, but for a lot of us, we start this journey with this little backpack of supplies. And our backpack of supplies in network marketing is your network, right? It's the people that are your friends, the people that know, like, and trust you. And for most of us, when we go on this journey, there's not enough names on our names list to get us from zero all the way to our top goal that we have. And so somewhere along the journey, we run out of names on our names list. And when that happens, there's really 3 responses you can have. The first response is what I call the quitter. And the quitter gets a little ways up the mountain. They run out of people to talk to, and they say, well, I quit. And sometimes they make 4 phone calls and quit. You might have had some of them join your team, but that's the quitter. The second type of person is what I call the settler. And the settler defines themselves by saying, I'm not a quitter. I'm not going to quit. And they get halfway up the mountain. They run out of people to talk to, and they don't quit. They stay in business. They keep using the product. They still keep coming to events, right? So they don't quit the business, but they settle. They quit on their top of the mountain goal. And they say, I wanted to retire my husband to make 10 grand a month, but $500 a month ain't bad. Or I wanted to make 20 grand, but I didn't. 10 grand's not bad. It doesn't matter what the amount is. What matters is whether or not you settled before you got to that top of the mountain goal that you set. And the third type of person is the one who keeps moving forward. They say, I'm going to be the person that no matter what, I'm going to find a way to get to the top of the mountain. So those are the 3 types of network marketers, or the 3 responses you can have. I want to know in the chat box, what have you been up until this point? And it's okay. There's no judgment here. I've been a quitter before. I've been a settler many times. And so let me know up until now, what have you been? Have you been a settler? Have you been a keep moving forward? Have you been a quitter? Where have you been so far? So we got some keep moving forward, some settlers. Loving the engagement, by the way. Thank you, guys. Settler but don't want to be. Keep moving forward. Cool. Awesome. So here is the simplest version of network marketing, okay? You have your friends and family, and you're going to introduce them to what you do. Some of them are going to become customers. Some of them are going to become business partners. And some of them are going to be neither. And you're just going to stay friends, which is cool. Literally, network marketing was created because this formula works incredibly well. It's the only reason they're willing to pay us, right? And so this works great. But then once you run out of that friends list of people who know, like, and trust you, now what, right? And some people are buying leads, Facebook spamming people, doing paid ads, prospecting strangers, spamming groups. And none of those things in and of themselves are inherently bad, okay? The problem, though, is that people are using those methods and they're trying to change the formula. And rather than going from friend to customer and business partner, now they're trying to go from stranger to customer or business partner. All right. And that process, by and large, does not work. All right. There's a very small percentage of people who are great at it. And we hear those stories all the time. But for the most part, the vast majority of people just do not do well under those conditions. And so what I want you to think about is I want you to think about breaking this process down into 2 steps. Okay. And the steps are go from stranger to friend and from friend to business partner or customer. That's it. Just make it 2 steps and make your first goal, how do I meet more friends? And I bet you, if you look really closely at the people that you think are good at going from stranger to business partner, I bet you if you watch really closely, what they do is they go from stranger to friend and from friend to business partner. They just have a really great skill set at making friends in like 10 minutes. Okay, so make this your goal, go from stranger to friend and from friend to business partner. And doing this, it feels amazing, right? There's nothing that feels icky about it. You get to value people. You don't have a pit in your stomach every time somebody asks you, what do you do, right? You don't have to jump into conversations and start launching into what you do. Okay, so this is the absolute best way to grow your business. But it does have a problem, okay? And the problem is that making friends takes too long, right? I mean, when you got started, maybe you've got 300 friends on your list, but it's taken 5, 10, 20 years to cultivate those friendships, and you don't want to wait that long to do it again. And if you want to meet new friends, I mean, literally, if you sat for coffee for 90 minutes to make a new friend and you had to add 300 new names to your list, it's going to take you forever to make enough new friends. It'll take you, 450 hours to be exact. So I understand why network marketers try to take the shortcut of going from stranger to customer, but it's really hard and it creates its own set of problems, right? If you have to convince somebody to get started, then you got to, also convince them to use an auto ship or convince them not to quit or convince them to make a names list. Just a lot of convincing, right? So it's a lot better if you can just meet people that already want to do this. So if you, I guess here's the bottom line. There's really 3 options you've got, right? Option number 1 is you can follow the process that I told you. Make friends, show your friends your business, and stay friends whether they join you or not. It feels great. It's lots of fun. And it's just a great way to build relationships. The problem is it's way too slow. Option number 2 is you can try to go from stranger to customer. Saves you a bit of time because you don't have to really learn anything about the person or add any value to them or anything like that. But if you do it wrong, it can feel icky and leads to a bunch of other problems, including the fact that it's not super duplicatable. And number 3 is the third option is you can just keep calling your existing list over and over and over. Okay. And don't get me wrong here. I'm not against follow-up. Follow-up's great. But sometimes we follow up with the same people over and over because we don't have a way to meet new people. And I did this because I was taught it and I just took it too far. But I've had people that every 4 months, they just call me. They're like, you want to join my business now? And I'm like, no. And that's the only time that we talk is every 4 months they call me to pitch me their business, right? And that's probably like the super ickiest thing of all is just when your relationship is just, people expect that when you're calling them, it's because you're going to pitch them their business. That's not a good place to be either. So those are the 3 different options. For me, before Meetup, I set my goal, $3,000 a month, full-time parents. Didn't even have kids yet, but that's what I wanted. I made my list, made some calls, didn't have a lot of luck. I decided I needed to do some cold market prospecting and ended up hating it and recruiting 0 people. So not a good combo for me. Then I started calling my extended warm market. So the people that I wouldn't really consider them great friends, but they knew who I was. Started using the 3-foot rule where I would call or I would talk to anybody who came within 3 feet of me. And I would go to company events and I would get so excited, right? I'd recommit to the fact that I'm going to keep moving forward. I would recommit to what my top of the mountain goal was. And then I would get home and I'd be there and it'd be me by myself with my same old list of the same people that have already said no 5 times. And I'm like, I don't want to call them again, but I didn't know what else to do. So I tried to be coachable and I just kept following up. And I called the same person for 3 freaking years. Bless his heart, he kept answering the phone. Until finally I hit a business milestone, which is I had my biggest month ever, which was $340 after 3 years. So you guys are probably all beating me. So yeah, congratulations. If you're on the line, you made more than $340. You have passed my 3-year total when I first got and started business. Then I had what I thought was the worst thing that could ever happen to me. But it ended up being the best thing. And what it was I had a 7-month non-compete, which was some leaders from my company went to and joined a different team, and I wanted to go with them. And they had to sit out of business and not be in another company for 7 months. And I thought it was the worst thing that could possibly ever happen, right? I can't be in business for 7 months. But it ended up being a blessing because it forced me to stop prospecting and it made me start making friends. I knew I wanted to meet new people. I knew I wanted a new list of people, of friends. I knew that I was going to be in a company, but I literally couldn't pitch it because I didn't have a company to pitch people. So I just focused on building relationships, just focused on making friends. Started with company number 2. Ended up enrolling 25 people in 21 days. Made $2,000 my very first week, which isn't lighting the world on fire, okay? But after 3 years, my biggest check being $340, $2,000 was a good week for me. And then I'm sorry to say, I went back to the old way of prospecting. I had met a bunch of people through my Meetup group. I actually gave my Meetup group away. And the bottom for me was my volume flatline. So at the beginning of the month, I would say, here's my projected auto ships. And then I would work really hard and enroll some people. And the number of people that quit versus the number of people I brought in was almost exactly the same. So I'd work really, really hard and have the same volume. Not a lot of fun. Not a single person on my team made more than $1,000 in a month, which wasn't a lot of fun either. And so I quit network marketing. I said, you know what? Network marketing is great. I'm just not great at it, and it's not for me. And not realizing it was just the way that I was doing things, right? So bottom for me was $30,000 in credit card debt, living in a basement suite, had a 6-month-old, and was faced with the reality that my wife and I were both going to have to go back to our jobs, which I really didn't want to do because that was my top of the mountain goal. And the turning point for me was I started making friends again. I joined company number 3. And 5 months later, hit the top of the comp plan. 5 months later, I was making $12,000 a month. And I wish I could say that life was good from that point forward, but I'm a bit of a slow learner and I went back to freaking prospecting people. I thought that my problem was the old company. And I thought that the solution was just, this company's got a different product and different comp plan and now everything's going to be different. And it made me miss the underlying problem. And the underlying problem was that I wasn't getting in front of enough new people. I wasn't making new friends. So I had the same kind of experience, but the difference was this time I didn't quit. Every time in the past when I got to this point, I quit. And this time I said, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to relaunch. I'm going to pretend that I'm in a new company, but I'm going to do the same things that I did when I first started, but I'm going to stay with my existing company. And when I did that, I had my realization. And the realization was when I went to relaunch in my company, I realized that my list had not grown. I had new business cards, I had phone numbers, but when I looked at my list, it was the same people that I had called, a couple years earlier. I didn't make new solid friendships. And I was like, how is it possible that a couple years have gone by and I haven't made any strong relationships outside of the people that are in my organization? I haven't made any friends outside of my business. And so I started using Meetup strategically, and I realized that it was duplicatable. I realized that I could teach this to other people, and the way that Meetup compounds is absolutely freaking crazy. So if you're on the line right now and you're like, what is Meetup? You keep saying this word. I don't know what that means. Meetup.com is a social media platform that's dedicated to helping you meet new friends and do more of what you love. Okay, so it's just like Facebook or any other social media platform. To be clear, I don't own Meetup. I didn't create it, nothing like that. I'm just the master at teaching network marketers how to use Meetup to make friends and how to turn them into business partners and customers. And Meetup's got 30 million users. They've been around for 11 years, but the last year or two specifically, they've been growing like crazy. So as companies like Airbnb and Uber and the sharing economy, as that becomes like more normal, Meetup is going crazy. So think about Meetup like halfway between maybe like Facebook and then a sharing economy company like Uber or Airbnb. But rather than sharing, houses or cars or stuff like that, you're meeting new friends and you're sharing life experiences. So here's how Meetup works. You can use it one of two ways. You can be a Meetup member, which is free to do. You join, you tell Meetup the stuff you're interested in, and they connect you with groups in your city so you can do more activities that you like. Or you can be a Meetup organizer, and this is where you create the group, and Meetup will send people to you. You get to choose the activities, you get to choose the events, you get to choose the date and time. You can literally book it all around your schedule, but best of all, it means people are coming to you. So I'm going to show you how to create a Meetup funnel. We've got our group, we've got value events, and we've got info. And in the top of that goes Meetup current subscribers, Meetup searches, and Google searches. And out of the bottom of this comes your perfect prospect. Now, to be clear, it's not your friends and family that are coming to your Meetup group, okay? These are people that are finding your Meetup through Google and through Meetup, and they're putting them into the group for you. And I want you to think about it in two steps, okay? So the first step here is going from stranger to friend. Meetup's going to put you in touch with people that you already have stuff in common with, where it's going to be easy to make friends and add value to people. And then at the end of your event, people are going to fill out a little information form for you. And after the event, off of Meetup, you're going to go from friend to business partner or customer, okay? So the bottom line here is imagine rather than trying to go from where you are now all the way to the top of the mountain with your existing list, what if you could have a little base camp, right? What if in a month from now or a couple months from now, you could have a brand new list of 300 prospects that are now friends? And what if in a couple months from then you had another 100 brand new people that you could talk to, right? And all the way up the top of the mountain, you had little base camps where you could refill your list. And now your success wasn't based on whether the person said yes or no anymore. It was literally just based on whether or not you were willing to put in the work. That was it. You had a predictable path to be able to get there and a nearly unlimited source of prospects. And what if you could do it without being pushy or salesy or anything like that? So let me know in the chat box, how do you like this so far? How are you liking this idea of being able to constantly be able to meet new people, have them come to you? And what are you thinking about this idea of just having new people to talk to and not having to chase people around anymore? Awesome. Cool. So here's some examples. All right. Edmonton Single Travelers, 3,800 members in this group. Stay Active, Work Out, and Have Fun in Calgary, 2,000 members in this group. Young, Fun, and Professional, 775 members. And here's an example we're going to use today. This one's called Get Fit, Mind, Body, Soul. And this is an example of a friend of mine. His name is David. And he went from 0 up to 372 prospects in just 36 days. So here's how it worked. He spent a little bit of time preparing his group. Okay, so we did all of this on paper. Then he went on to meetup.com and he created his group. From there, he had prospects join his group. And to be clear, not his friends and family. This was from people from Google and from Meetup that got introduced to his group. From there, he hosted some value events where he made new friends and added value to their lives, whether they bought from him or not. And from there, they all filled out an interest form. And that was the bridge to go from friend to customer or business partner. Okay. So that's kind of the big version picture. And here are the 5 steps to create your Meetup funnel. I told you before, I would tell you when it's time to take notes. This would be a good time to take some notes. Or if you're on a Mac, you can screenshot. It's Shift Command 4. Let's just screenshot. So your 5 steps are prepare, create, grow, recruit, and duplicate. So prepare, create, grow, recruit, and duplicate. If you don't have that all written down, it's okay. That's going to be a major theme of our talk today, so you'll be able to see it a few times. And as much as I'd love to, I can't give you 11 years of stuff I've learned on Meetup, in 60 minutes. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to give you a high-level version of how all 5 of these work together. So I want you to really see kind of how it works. And then we'll pick 1 or 2 of these, probably the create module, and I'll go into a lot of details into that section. And then I'll save the rest for my paid training, which I'll tell you about at the end, provided that I add a lot of value here. So first part is prepare, all right? So here is why we prepare, okay? As soon as you create your Meetup group online, what's going to happen is a little countdown timer starts that you can't see. And essentially what it does is Meetup is going to announce your group. So Meetup's going to send out an email to everyone in your city and say, hey, listen, here's this new group. You should check it out. The problem is Meetup doesn't really know when you're finished building your group. So it could be half complete. It could have not all the activities in there. There could be mistakes. And that email still goes out. And once it goes out, there's nothing you can do about it. You can't get it. You can't have it go out a second time. It only happens once when you first create your group. And it's one of your biggest leverage points. It took me 3 years to hit 300 members in my first group. David did it in 1 month because he figured this out, this launch sequence, okay? So we want to prepare, and when you're preparing, you want to do this all on paper first, not on Meetup, and that way you don't cross this line where they start to announce your group, okay? So when you're preparing, you want to know who do you want to attract, right? Who, if you could choose who you got to recruit into your business, who would they be, okay? You want to pick a group name. You want to write a description, which tells people what your group's about. You want to think of some activities, some stuff that you would enjoy doing. And you want to select what's called tags. And lastly, you want to scout some locations. And there's lots of free ones, which I'll tell you about in a bit. So that's what you want to do as you're preparing. And I'm going to spend some time talking about the first one, which is who do you want to attract, okay? And sometimes people get really caught up on like, well, my group has to be about wine. Well, it can be about wine, but it doesn't have to be about wine, okay? Your goal is just to go from stranger to friend. So when you think about it this way, you want to think about who do I want to attract? I would try the simplest thing to do is to attract people who think and act like you. The easiest way to make friends with somebody is to find somebody who you already have something in common with. So if you're doing activities that you love, you're going to meet people who you already have something in common with, and it's easier to make friends. Plus, you don't procrastinate because you actually enjoy doing it, right? Number 2, I want you to think about this. If you meet a bunch of people that think and act like you, right, and direct sellers made sense to you, and you decided to join, then if you meet a bunch of people that think and act like you, then it's probably going to be that direct sellers makes a lot of sense to them too, right? So you want to meet people who think and act like you. So when you go on Meetup, you can put in some of your interests. It might be travel, new in town, fun times, nightlife, could be sales professionals, entrepreneurship, could be healthy living, fitness, wellness, stay-at-home moms, work-from-home moms, women entrepreneurs. You're literally just going to put in whatever things, whatever topics you're interested in, and then you're going to meet people that also have the same interests. Okay, so that's the prepare section. The next is create. We're going to spend some time on this one. I want to help you build a funnel here today. Okay, so the first part is your group. And here's what not to do. Okay, so this one's called Herbalife Fit Camp, and it basically says you should join my Herbalife business. Okay, it's 51 members, and they've been around for over a year. Don't do this. This is somebody trying to go from stranger to customer. Okay, it doesn't work. Meetup will shut you down, first of all, and second of all, if they don't shut you down, it doesn't matter because nobody's going to attend. This one is also a fitness group, and there's 2,000 members in it. Stay active, work out, and have fun in Calgary. They're just focused on making friends and making friends specifically that already want to lose weight, right? So way more successful. Here's another example. This one says, hey, join my travel company, Join World Ventures. It's been around for a year and they got 45 members, right? Don't do that. This one's Edmonton Single Travelers. Now I think today it's like 4,300 members or something like that. Here's another example. Edmonton Cash Flow Club. That's 566 people that have all read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and that all want to create residual income. So every single person that joins that group wants to start a business or invest in real estate or be in the stock market. This one is called Network and Social, 7,000 members. Portland Single Parents, 1,700 people. Baby Boomer Social Club, 2,100 people. Young Fun and Professional, 775 young professionals. Okay, so you want to just create your group around people that are like you and just doing stuff that you already enjoy doing so that you can meet friends in groups. You can meet bunches of people and you can add value to them. So we've got prepare, we've got create. The next section in here is that kickoff email that I told you about. This is one of my favorite parts, where all the traffic comes, and this is the part that makes it pretty brilliant. Okay, so Meetup and Google are going to funnel people into the top of your group. There's 3 ways this happens. The first way only happens once. The next 2 ways happen month over month over month. Okay, so the first way is the Meetup kickoff email. Here's what it looks like. When you create your Meetup group, you let Meetup know what your group is about. So in this case, it was yoga, fitness, weight loss, nutrition, meditation, outdoors, lose weight, adventure, weight loss challenge, athlete. Okay, so all of these different topics. Now, yours could be all about wine or social activities. It could be all about entrepreneurship. It could also be about fitness. If you love fitness, your only goal is to go from stranger to friend. Okay, and then once you're friends, you can go from friend to business partner or customer. So don't get caught up in what the group is about. It's going to be about what you love. Okay, so we've got all these things that the group is about. Every time somebody joins Meetup, they tell Meetup what they're into. So maybe this member says, I'm into sports, marketing, yoga, nature, and soccer. If any one of your group tags matches any one of their individual tags, they're going to get an email that says, hey, there's this group. It's about yoga. You might like it. You should join it. Okay, so here's what I want you to know. Right now on Meetup, there's already hundreds, if not thousands of people in your city who are already on Meetup who have said, yo, Meetup, the next time there's an event about wine, let me know. The next time there's an event about mom entrepreneurs, let me know. The next time there's a group that's about marketing, let me know. Small business, let me know. Whatever. And you're literally just waiting for you to create your group. And as soon as you do, bam, all of those people that match one of your tags, you're going to get an email to be able to join your group. So that's the first way. That only happens once, and it's your biggest leverage point. The second way is called Meetup Search, and people can use this just like Google. There's 30 million users. They can go on in their city and search for your group or your activities, and they can find you that way. And the third way is Google Search, which is pretty cool also. So if somebody goes onto Google and they type in, they're not even on Meetup, they're just in Google, they type in Get Fit, Mind, Body, and Soul in Ottawa, the first thing that comes up is David's Meetup group. If somebody types in Get Fit, Have Fun, Edmonton, the first thing that comes up is Kat's group. In fact, any combination of the words lose weight, get fit, so get fit, have fun, lose weight, have fun, get fit, lose weight, any of those combination of those words, the first thing that comes up is a group. Edmonton Single Travelers, first thing that comes up is Billy Joe's group. So imagine somebody going into Google, right, and typing in, Wine Club Vegas, and the first thing that they find is you, right? Or somebody types in Entrepreneurs New York, and the first thing they find is you. So after 10 days of creating this group, David had 185 people in his group, 33 people coming to his event. After 20 days, he had 269 people in his group. And at the end of 36 days, he had 372 members in his group. At the end of 6 months, there was 1,500 people in this group, okay? So we got the group, we got the value events, we got the form. Think about it this way. We got thousands of people in the top of the funnel. Of those, 372 put up their hand and said, yeah, I want to lose weight. Those are 372 targeted leads. So think about it this way. If you had to, I want you to think about how you meet people right now, right? If you were to go through and meet 1,000 new friends, and then you were to sort through them one at a time, being like, hey, do you like wine? Do you like wine? Do you like wine? Or, hey, do you want to start a business? Do you want to start a business? Do you want to start a business? How long would it take you if you were to sort through those thousands of people one at a time? Without using the word forever. Give me an actual number. Give me how many hours it would take you based on how you're currently doing it to sort through 1,000 people. We got months. I can't repeat Joe. Months, yeah. Absolutely. So listen, if I gave you the choice, right? Even if you skipped the friends part, even if they were already your friends, okay, and you just had to go through them one at a time, or you could just pay Meetup $20 and Meetup could sort through them for you and tell you, here's the 372 that are actually interested. Like, wouldn't you rather do that? 372 targeted leads. And next month, thousands more are going to come in the top funnel, hundreds more are going to join this group. Pretty freaking awesome. So that's the traffic section. The next one is added value events. And this is where you go from stranger to friend. This is the part where you really get to build relationships and you can make it a lot of fun. And some of my closest relationships now, people that didn't even join my business, have come from Meetup. Now, if you skip this part, if you do this part wrong, if you try to go from stranger to business partner, this is what it's going to look like. On your event page, someone's going to say, not as presented as a Meetup, nothing more than a sales pitch. And you're going to have to try to explain on your Meetup wall why you did what you did. Versus, this is what happens if you do a good job of adding value. This is a group of mine. Now, keep in mind, this event was after, I've run this group for a couple years, okay? So you're not going to get 75 people to your first event, right? But 75 people attended this event. It was called 6 Steps to Exiting the Rat Race. And here's the comments after the event. Very informative, great day of education, awesome event, highlight of my year, loved it, incredible day of meeting new people. Thanks, Jimmy, for organizing a fabulous event. And on and on and on and on and on and on of people saying positive stuff. Okay. On top of that, you might notice on the right-hand side, these all say paid. This is actually a paid event. And people paid anywhere between $10 and $50 to attend this event, depending on how soon they RSVP'd, right? So whether or not I enrolled anybody, even if I didn't get a single customer or a single business partner, I literally got paid to prospect that day. Okay, so here's how it worked. We got all these people from Meetup and Google. They joined David's group. Now, as soon as they've joined his group, he can literally send them an email whenever he wants. If he wanted to, he could say, here's my link, go buy my stuff. But my suggestion is, don't do that. My suggestion is add some value first. So you create some events, some activities. Meetup is all about doing stuff. So if YouTube is about videos and Pinterest is about crafts, right, then Meetup is about doing stuff. So you create some events and Meetup will automatically send them an email. So the first event was meditation at the beach, 37 went. Next one was Color Run Canada, 9 went. The next one was supposed to be a connect session, but something happened, so we ended up just doing beginner yoga, 24 went. And then the last one was advanced yoga, and 37 attended. Okay, so total in the first month, he had 106 people that came to the events in person, and he made 106 new friends in 1 month. Took him 4 hours to make 106 new friends. Crazy, right? So we got thousands of people on the top of the funnel. Of those, 372 of them were targeted leads. They put their hand up and said, yeah, I want to lose weight. Of those 372, 106 of them attended an event and became friends. These are targeted, motivated leads. And on top of that, like if 372 people are interested in losing weight, 106 people got in their car, drove to an event, and worked out. They're not interested in losing weight. They're ready to lose weight right freaking now. Okay, so you can sort people and find out who's actually interested by just seeing who shows up at the events. So rather than talking to 1,000 people or even calling 372, he literally narrowed it down from 372 down to the top 106 without making a single phone call. He just got to do stuff that he loved. Just do fun stuff, make some relationships, right? So if you're social, you could do happy hour events, dance lessons, where you attend dance lessons. You don't have to teach them or anything like that. Art galleries, charity events, wine tastings, go out for good food. If you like health, you could do a stroller jog, yoga, running stairs, river valley runs, right? Archery, paintball, bubble soccer. A lot of companies that have those things will give you the first time free. So if you want to say, hey, there's 30 of us, can we come in and try it out for free? Lots of them will say yes. Now you got a free location, and everybody in your group's really happy because they got to try some stuff out for free. If you like investing, you could teach debt restructuring or budgeting or connect startup businesses with angel investors or minimizing taxes. Do a real estate investing event, crowdfunding events. You can play the cash flow board game like what I do. The point is, it doesn't have to be about wine. It can be, but it doesn't have to be, okay? It's just about the type of stuff that you enjoy. If you naturally are great at getting a lot of customers who love the wine, Rather than saying, well, I want a group about business owners because I want more business owners, just go with what works for you. If you love wine and you're great at getting customers, just go get 10 times as many customers and watch what happens when some of them start to upgrade to business partners. If naturally you're good at talking to business owners and you enjoy that, then do that kind of stuff, right? Play the cash flow board game like what I do, or have a mastermind group or a book study, okay? So just do the stuff that you enjoy. That's the point. So those are your value-added events. This is not about selling people. This is just about building friendships. And then the next step, which I'll show you right now, is called your interest form. And this is the bridge from going from a friend to a business partner or a customer. So here's how it worked. We had 106 people that attended his first 4 events. All of them filled out an interest form. Name, phone number, email address, that kind of stuff. 62 of the 106 specifically asked for help. Okay, so again, we're splitting this into 2. Group and events are all about going from stranger to friend, right? Just making friends, not selling, that's it. After the info form, we're going from friend to business partner and customer. So on his form, he said, what are some future activities you'd like to try? On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your fitness level? On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your nutrition level? Is your goal to lose weight or build muscle? How much weight would you like to lose? If it was my form, I'd say, when would you like to lose it by? All right. And so I'll give you some wine examples in a second. I just wanted to give you the full funnel here from David. But imagine that. Imagine you call somebody back and you say, the first part of the conversation, by the way, is going to be them saying, thank you so much. I had so much fun. Can we do bubble soccer again? I got some friends I'd like to invite. Like, your conversation is totally different than a cold prospect. Okay. Second of all, you just say, well, hey, it says here on your form that you want to lose 30 pounds in the next 90 days. Is that true? And they say, well, yeah, it is. You say, cool. Well, what's worked for you before? And they're like, well, what hasn't worked for you before, right? You just have a conversation with them. I don't know if you know this, but I've lost 30 pounds myself. Would you like my help? Or I don't know if you know this, but my friend lost 30 pounds. I helped Susan lose 30 pounds. Would you like my help? Right? So the point here is that the difference between you chasing people and them chasing you, in one word, is them expressing the problem. Right? If somebody says, I have a flat tire, and you're like, oh, do you want a lift? Right? Somebody says, I want to lose weight and I can't. And you say, oh, I've already lost weight. Do you want my help? Right? You are not chasing them. You're not selling anymore. Right? Somebody says, I want to make enough money to quit my job. And they say that first. And you say, oh, well, I have a friend that's made enough money to quit his job. Do you want my help? Right? It's a much easier situation where they're chasing you. In a business group, you could have different questions like this. This person has a business and they're a real estate investor. So if somebody circles yes to real estate or yes to the stock market, in my group, everybody that comes, they want to real estate invest, start a business, or they want to be in the stock market. That's it. And the ones that want to be in the stock market, I send them to a stock market course. People that want to be in real estate, I send them to a real estate course. People that want to start a business, they come with me and I help them build a business. And some of the people that want to real estate invest, I'm like, how much money do you have to invest? They're like, $1,000. Like, cool. How many properties do you think you're going to get? They're like, 0. You want my help coming up with some money to invest with? And they're like, that'd be great. Right? So that's the whole process here, is you want to just help people. So we got thousands of people narrowed down to the top 372 who were targeted leads. Of those, 106 got in their car, drove to an event, and became friends. Of those, 62 of them said, please help me. Call me back. I actually want your help. This one simple strategy generated over $250,000 in profits in just 1 year. I did it by doing one launch where I enrolled 25 people in 21 days. 100% of them enrolled on the top package. They all joined as distributors, and it completely changed my business and my lifestyle. So you want contact info and you want consultative questions. You want to own their info and you don't own Meetup, so you want their name, phone number, email address, that kind of stuff. But then you want consultative questions. So how many vacations did you take last year? How many vacations would you like to take every year? If they say, I'd like to take 5 vacations a year, last year I took 0, and you call them back and you say, why didn't you go on 5 vacations last year? What stopped you? And they say, well, it's because, you want to guess? I didn't have enough time or didn't have enough money. Can you guys solve those problems? I think you can. What age would you like to have enough money saved to retire? What age are you on pace to retire? Right? What type of wine would you like to try? Right? Check off the boxes. Here's the type of wine that you like. If you have a wine group, that would be a question that would make sense. Which of the following topics are you interested in learning more about? So here's another example of a form. Somebody says keeping existing customers or referral marketing. One of the questions is starting your own business, right? And her company is called Sendo Cards, and it's all about if somebody says that they want to keep existing customers, her product would be a great fit for them. If somebody says I want to start a business, obviously that's the best conversation you're ever going to have, right? So I promised you a rejection-free way to get leads, right? First of all, we went from thousands of people down to the top 372 with 0 rejection, right? Didn't have to get a bunch of no's. We took that all the way down to the top 62 that said, yes, please help me. So there's the way to get no rejection. But the best way to get no rejection is this. Change your definition of what your job is. Your job is not to convince people to join you. If you change your definition to my job is literally just to sort people and send them whatever direction they want. Somebody wants to learn about the stock market, go that way. They want to learn about real estate, go that way. You want to start a business, come to me. And I just know that I'm going to get in front of enough people because I have a funnel that the small percentage that say that they want to start a business is going to be more than enough for me to grow my business. So that's how you get rejection-free leads. And calling prospects is super freaking easy when they're expecting your call and they circled yes on your form. It's even easier when they know, like, and trust you and look to you as a trusted authority. You quickly found out which prospects are interested, which ones are motivated, and which ones are looking for a solution, and which ones aren't. You added value to every single person, even the ones who didn't buy, which is important because it makes you about 1 million times cooler than every other network marketer who's just out there always pitching and always chasing. Meetup allows you to make friends, show your friends your business, and stay friends whether they join you or not. So that really is it. I want to show you how this duplicates, okay? Because I think your mind's going to be a little bit blown when I show you this. Let me see here. So this is, if you go to meetupcalculator.com, you can see this. And are you still able to see my screen if you let me know here? Okay, cool. So here are some parameters. Joe, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I put in that when you're, it's going to be different for everybody, but if you get a customer, usually it's going to be 40 points. And then after that, it's going to be 40 points every month. I think it was 125 for a one-time business owner in points and 60 every month after that. I might have messed that up a little bit, but hopefully we're close enough here for this example. So here's what I want you to see. Okay, let's say in a year from now, most people underestimate what they can do in a month, or so they overestimate what they can do like this month, but they really underestimate what they could do over the next couple of years. Okay, so I want you to think about in a year from now, you're in a position where you've got you're in a position where you've got a group of 500 people in your meetup group. Okay. You're going to host 2 events a month. So in your month, you're going to spend maybe 2 hours per event, an hour, maybe 2, and then an hour following up with people. Okay. So you're looking at 6 hours a month, right, to host your meetup group and to do follow-up. We're going to say of those 500 people, only 3% of them actually RSVP and say that they're going to attend one of your events. Of the ones that say they're coming, we're going to say only 1/3 of them actually show up. And of the ones that show up, let's say same thing, 1/3 of them actually show up. Now give me your number, okay? Residual is 40. Thank you, Joe. Let me change that. And let's go, it said it's 125 or 200. So let's split it and let's just go 170 so that we're kind of halfway in between of 125 and 200. So we've got this. Let me know, Joe, not your close rate, but let me know just on the team, if somebody sits down with 10 people who circled, yes, I'm into wine, let me know about it. Give me kind of a conservative number out of 10. How many customers you think that would turn into for a new person or an average person? And go conservative. And then same question, how many business owners out of 10? Okay, so out of 10 people, we've got 1 of them becoming customers and 1 becoming a business owner. Okay, so based on those numbers, here's what we got, okay? In 2 years from now, you're going to have 552 coming in volume, month after month after month, just from your meetup group. Okay. Now we're not lighting the world on fire yet, but let me show you something cool here. Okay. If you want to double this number, you don't have to double all of these. You just have to double one of them. All right. So here's what I mean. if all of these were to stay the same, your sign up rate was to stay the same. And by the way, most training that everyone takes is like, how do I get this number up, right? Instead of 1 out of 10, how can I enroll 3 out of 10, right? And by doing that, if you doubled the number of customers that you enrolled and you doubled the number of business owners you enrolled, obviously that's going to double your number down here. Okay, so that's one way you can double your numbers, by doubling your closing rate. And most training is all about how do you double this. Okay, but you can also double your numbers if you just double this. Just over time, if your group keeps growing and you end up with 1,000 members in it, guess what? This number just doubled. All right, I'm going to reset. If all you do is you double your RSVP rate, you do a couple simple things to get twice as many people to RSVP, bam, our number doubled. Oh, I got to put this back to 500. Okay. Here's where it gets crazy though. Okay. It compounds. So if this number doubles and our volume is doubled and we double our show up rate, now we've got 4 times the amount. If we also double our yes on the form, now we've got 8 times the amount. If we also double our group size, now we've got 16 times the amount. Right? Imagine in 2 years from now, just your one meetup group, just the people that you've enrolled from that group, right, equals 5 new business owners every month and 5 new customers every month. And in 2 years from now, you've got 10,000, basically 11,000 points per month that is coming just from the people that have joined from your group. Pretty crazy, right? So I'm going to reset these. And let's say that they're not all double. Let's just say that they all went up by, I don't know, 10% or something like that. We'll put this up to like 50%. We'll put our group size back to like maybe 600. We'll do 4% on here, and we'll do 50%. Okay. Here's the second thing I want you to see. Okay. What if you had 24 people that did this with you? We got somebody unmuted here who's on the typing a little bit. Okay, so what about, right? If you're at a position where in 2 years from now, you've got 24 people that have built groups. That's what your team volume looks like. Right there. Right? So, I mean, I think just one of the ways you get paid is 10% of this number. So if this is your smaller team, then you're making just about $6,000 a month. If that's split between 2 teams, you're making about $3,000 a month. You and a team of 24. And let's be clear what we're talking about here. We're talking about you're spending 2 nights a month where you host an event, and then an hour afterwards where you're making some phone calls back to follow up with those people. Right? It doesn't take a huge number if you're able to get some leverage, if you're able to get in front of groups of people rather than individuals, right? And if you really want to look like, hey, my goal in the next 5 years is that I want to get up to 200 groups, I mean, it gets pretty ridiculous, okay? So there's 2 inaccuracies I want to show you in this, okay? The first one, I'll go back to 24. I like 24 because it's 1 a month for 2 years. 2 inaccuracies, okay? Number 1, this is assuming 100% retention rate. So it's saying that 100% of the people that join stay for 2 years and none of them quit, which isn't going to happen. But that's one assumption. The other assumption, though, is that these 28 people that are coming in, you're getting 28 new business owners every month. This is assuming that they do absolutely 0. This is only counting volume that's coming as a result of you and these 24 groups, okay? So anything that these people do is all 100% bonus. So I told you before about making 25,000 prospects, right? Well, here's how you do it. If you and 24 people build meetup groups, and in a year from now, your groups hit 1,000 members, and I've showed you groups today that hit 1,500 members in 6 months. I've showed you groups of 3,800 people, okay? So if your group hits 1,000 members after a year from now, and you've got 24 other people to do it, you now have a database of 25,000 prospects. 487 people per month are circling yes on a form saying, please contact me. That's turning into 48 new business owners and 48 new customers every single month. Is this making sense? You guys liking this? So that's the big picture. Let me do a really quick recap here. We've got your group. Who do you want to attract? How can you serve them? We've got traffic. People are already in your city who are already on Meetup, who have already said, Meetup, please let me know the next time there's a group about wine or business or fitness or travel or whatever you love, okay? Let Google promote it for you, and that launch email is your kickoff point, your leverage point. We talked about events, do stuff you love, and add a bunch of value. And I showed you just a second ago, I want you to really see that just small changes to your group size, to your RSVP rate, to your show up rate, those make big differences in your team volume. We talked about your interest form. They ask you for information. We don't waste time on unqualified prospects. And every event you have is a stack of interest forms of people that have said, yes, please call me. At the bottom comes your perfect prospect. So what I want to know is, how do we do? How did you like it? If you were to take this training and sum it up for me, your feelings about it in one word, what would that one word be? Good or bad? If you want to say hate it, I'm cool with that. If you want to love it, that's great. Give me one word in the chat box. Awesome, eye-opening, new level, overdue. Well, I'm really glad you guys liked it because I made this slide in advance, so it would have gotten pretty awkward if you guys said it was horrible. So listen, I asked you at the beginning if I added a ton of value and if this was the most valuable 60 minutes of your entire year, would it be okay if I took 10, 15 minutes at the end to tell you about how we could keep working together in my online course? So let me know. Let me know how we did already, but let me know what do you want? Do you guys want me to give you some details? You want me to let you know about what the course is all about? All right, deets, please. Cool. So you're at your computer watching this webinar. You've heard how all of this works, and you know that using Meetup can be a great way for you to meet more of your perfect prospect, right? So if you're a network marketer who wants to meet more of your perfect prospect, and you're genuinely interested in creating friendships and relationships and adding value to people's lives, right, regardless of whether or not they buy from you, Meetup is the way to go. So right now we're at a crossroads. There's a question that needs to be answered, and hopefully the question isn't, should I use Meetup? Right? If you're still here after 60 minutes, hopefully we're past that and you're like, I'm going to build a group. So the question isn't, should I use Meetup? The question is, do you want to do this the slow way or do you want to do it the fast way? Right? The slow way is trying to figure this out on your own using trial and error and some of the stuff that I taught you today. It's going to cost you time, and if you do it wrong, it'll cost you money. And if you don't master attraction marketing and permission-based selling, then even if you get a bunch of people to attend your events, you're going to go right back to chasing them, okay? Or you can go the fast way. The fast way is just let me show you the exact formula of exactly what works, right? My 11 years of failing and learning from it. I'll take you by the hand and I'll walk you step by step by step through every little thing. I'll even show you how to profit from your events before somebody even enrolls with you so that the training pays for itself. I've created a 5-module training experience for you called Meetup Marketer, where I literally recorded every step of creating a group, like from idea all the way to implementation. And I walk you step by step by step through how to come up with an idea for your group, right? How to set it up, how to write the description, how to select the best tags so you get the most people in it, how to attract prospects, what to do at your events, how to get paid, how to recruit into your business, how to duplicate, all of it. So the 5 modules are called Prepare, Create, Grow, Recruit, and Duplicate. The first module takes you from idea to launch. So I'm literally going to give you some copy and paste guides you can use to help you brainstorm a group name, to help you figure out a description that's irresistible, and to figure out what activities you're going to do in your group based on what you enjoy, based on your interests. All right. I'm going to give you a group validation test. Okay. And Liza's actually gone through this already, and so has Jennifer. And the validation test is just 5 simple questions, and you answer them. And based on the score that you get, you'll know whether your group is going to be a great idea with a very high likelihood of success, like started already, whether it's going to be something that probably will be okay, but you might want to do a little bit of tweaking, or if it's going to be a dud. So you can figure that out before you even spend any time building your group. I'm going to show you what activities you should use so that you avoid no-shows. And I'll show you how to attract your first 300 members in your first 30 days, just like David did. I'm also going to show you how to get free locations to host your events. Module number 2 is all about creating. I'm going to show you how to build your group from A to Z, literally from like I already had successful groups, so I could have just made some slides and showed you, but I literally helped David create a group from zero so that I could record each step of it. So you literally just get to watch, here's how you start your account, right? Here's the button that you click on. This is all of it, right? I'll just walk you step by step by step through. Here's what settings to put in there. Here's here's a different page where you can see how many people have each one of the tags, so you can figure out which are the best ones to use to attract the most people. So I literally take you step by step. If you have two monitors, you just like hit play on one of them and you actually build your group on the other one. Otherwise, you just hit play for a couple minutes, hit pause, and then go copy it, okay? I'm going to help you create a group name that represents you and your brand, and I'm going to show you how to use that Meetup launch email and social proof so you get a bunch of prospects coming to you. Module number 3 is all about growing, right? How to maximize the number of people who join, RSVP, and show up to your events so that you can recruit with leverage and save time. And like you saw in the calculator, just small changes in each one of those is going to make a big difference. In fact, you can enroll 8 times as many people without increasing your closing rate if you just get good at the join, RSVP, and show up parts. I'm going to show you how to collect contact info so you have a huge list of people who know, like, and trust you. And then I'm going to show you how to recruit. Okay, I'm going to show you how and when to bring up your business so that it feels totally natural. I'm going to show you how to create your own custom form, right? What questions to put on there, how to think your way through making a form so that prospects are asking you about your business. You're going to learn permission-based selling so that you and your prospect feel totally comfortable. And if you've liked my style here today, if it hasn't felt like, high-pressure sales, and if you like the permission-based stuff, that's what I'm going to show you. You're going to master the Meetup launch method so that you can recruit prospects in bunches. Okay, so what happens here is there's 4 different ways that you can recruit. And one of them is right after the event, the next day, you call somebody back and you bring up and you talk to them about your product. One of them is you call them the next day and bring up your business. And then there's a direct launch and an indirect launch. And that's where you just host events for a while, don't really recruit anybody, and then you do a big launch where you go and recruit 20 people in 30 days, something like that. And if you follow Eric Worre at all, you know why 20 in 30 days is a big deal. So I'm going to walk you through all 4 of those ways. You don't have to do all of them. Just figure out which one feels the best to you, and literally just do that one, okay? Module number 5 is duplicate. I'm going to show you how to help your teammates create groups that don't compete with yours. I'm going to show you when your teammates should start building groups, how a small self-sufficient team can deliver huge numbers. Hopefully you've already seen that with the calculator. I'm going to show you the duplication myth, McDonald's versus Subway. So duplication is great, but McDonald's and Subway both have duplication. One of those systems allows people to have mass customization, get exactly what they want, versus just being rigid. And I'll show you how to have duplication, but also that mass customization. I'm going to show you repeatable, predictable recruiting so that you can rank advanced, speak on stage, and help your team do the same thing. You're getting the exact same system that I personally use to recruit 25 people in 21 days. And the price? Well, there's literally no Meetup system like this. If you wanted to get in front of lots of people like this, you could take a Facebook ads course, but then you're going to have to pay a couple $1,000 a month on Facebook ads. I know this because I spend $7,000 a month on Facebook ads, and I've do Facebook ads, I do Meetup, so I know the other stuff that's out there. This system, on top of the fact that you don't, it only costs you $20 a month on Meetup once you've built your funnel, it actually pays you to host events. So you literally can get paid to host events and make money whether people join you or not, which is pretty freaking cool. Coaching clients pay me over $7,000 to work with them one-on-one. And I've got a waiting list right now. I only coach 3 days a month. So I have a waiting list in order to do that. And that's why I created Meetup Marketer. That's why I built an online course so I could help a lot more people. And you can get started right now in Meetup Marketer by making 3 payments of $277, or you can make 1 payment of $697 USD upfront. It's lifetime access, and there is no drip content. But it gets better. I talked with Jennifer, and normally what I do is when there's somebody who has a big group of people like what you guys have here, I'll say, here's what we'll do. However many people buy, I'll just give you a referral fee. And Jennifer said, sounds great. I appreciate that, but I don't want to make money that way. I want to make money by helping my team win. So what if we do this? What if we take my referral fee and we give it back and we give it as a discount. And normally I give a discount to the first 10 people, but what we're going to do instead is rather than me giving Jennifer a referral fee, she's going to pass this on to you. And so you can get started right now for just 3 payments of $167. 1 payment today, 1 in a month, and 1 in a month from then. Or you can save an additional $104 by making 1 payment of $397. And you can do that by going to meetupmarketer.com/wine, and make sure that you give a big thank you to Jennifer for, number 1, setting this up, and number 2, for passing on the referral price. Literally, when I do this, nobody even knows that I pay a referral fee. So it's not like anyone would have even known. And she just said, you know what? Could you do this? So love your leadership. You guys have great people to work with. On top of that, I'm also going to do this for the first 10 people who enroll today. As you're enrolling, just go ahead and let me know, let Zoe know in the chat box that you're started. And the first 10 to enroll today are going to have the Meetup group reviewed by my team. I'd love to do this for everybody, but there just frankly isn't enough time in the day to do it. So here's what happens. As soon as you create your group, you send us an email with a link to your group in it, and we'll send you a video where we give you suggestions about your group. Where we say, hey, I like this part, I'd change this part, change these tags, all of that. So the first 10 to enroll, just let me know in the chat box as you enroll, and we can write your name down to make sure that you get that bonus, and we'll send you that custom review before your group is launched so that you can maximize that kickoff email. Again, meetupmarketer.com/wine is where you get all the details. You should see this, so pick the discounted price here that works the best for you. Fill out the usual details. Then you're going to get an email with a username and password, and it's all there. It's all waiting for you. So it is not drip content, and it's lifetime access. So what that means, drip content means sometimes courses will give you month number 1, you get module number 1. Month number 2, you get module 2. Month number 5, you get module 5. And the reason they do that is so that if you use the payment plan, they want to make sure that you've paid everything before you get all the content, right? But I think that's stupid, because then it slows down your progress, slows your results, and I don't want to do that. So you get 100% of it all up front, even if you use the payment plan. I trust you. I'm going to make the other payment. It is also lifetime access. So if you want to get started right now, but things are busy, life's crazy, for whatever reason you can't get started right away, that's cool. You can get started right now. I do have to put a time limit on the discount, just to be fair to everybody else. So there will be a time limit for the discount. But as long as you start and as long as you pay before that time limit goes up, you can build your group whenever you want. You can log in, it'll all be there, you have lifetime access. So if you want to attract your perfect prospect, you want to build trust, recruit more people so you can rank up and get paid what you're worth, meetupmarketer.com/wine. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to let you know about a couple of bonuses, and then we're going to do some Q&A. So if you got some questions, start throwing them in, and my assistant Zoe will kind of capture them, and then I'll go through them as best I can here. So I'll try to go through these quickly for you. We've got a 30-day results guarantee. And the results guarantee, just support at jimmyjayes.com. And it says if at the end of 30 days you don't get the results you were hoping for, we'll give you a full refund. So here's the specifics. All right. If you buy the course and you don't do any work, you will not get any results. And I can't be responsible for that. Okay. But if you get the course and you do the work and you don't get results, 100% that's on me. So here's how it works. All you have to do is the first 2 modules. You don't have to finish the course. Just do the first 2 modules, create your group, and if you don't get the results you want, let us know, and we will give you a full refund. So either you'll have a group full of people that you love that's making you money every month, or you'll get a refund. Those are the only 2 options. The only way you lose is if you don't do the work. You can still keep the bonuses just to compensate you for your time. Bonus number 1 is how to find locations. I'll give you 50 plus free location ideas, and I'll show you a simple formula for paid locations, which basically is here's how to make money from your events. So if you have to pay for a location, you don't pay for it, the guests pay for it, okay? Number 2 is how to make your site beautiful. I'll let you customize your group so that you can brand yourself and stand out over the edge of groups. It'll go from looking like this, which is kind of the default page, to something more like this. All right, and this took 15 minutes, all free tools. I show you which free tools to use, and 0 design skills. The next one is some interviews from my other students. So how Kat made $5,235 and counting in membership dues from her weight loss group. So not counting what she's made from customers and business partners, just from membership dues, she's made an extra $5,000. So if you spent $400 and you bought the course, and in a year from now, even if you did 10% of what she did and you made your $500 back, just from membership dues, you're in great shape. Billy Joe, she's got 3,400 members in her group now, and I do an interview with her for her travel group. The next bonus is one of my favorite ones. I've got people that say to me all the time, like, Jimmie, I'm tired of talking to people one-on-one. I want to get leverage. I want to, speak in front of groups, but I'm nervous getting in front of people. And so this bonus, I literally go through my experience of being literally scared of a 5-person audience, to speaking on stage confidently in front of 17,000 people. I'll show you how to structure your speaking engagements for maximum impact. And the bottom line is, you can just practice on Meetup. You can practice in smaller groups. And when you're ready to be on stage in front of your company, it's going to be no big deal. The next one is bigger than a bonus. I can't even call this a bonus. It's literally its own module. There's 7 videos in it. There's the 7 different ways to profit from Meetup, so you can cover all of your expenses. And I know your goal isn't to make money from Meetup. I know your goal is to grow your business, okay? But I also know that anytime you buy a training, it's a little bit nerve-wracking, right? Like, what if I buy this and I don't make my money back? So my goal is with this bonus, that this bonus alone pays for the entire training. And that way, 100% of what you make from customers and business owners is all profit. So I'm going to show you how to turn your raving fans into paying clients. So you train them to spend money with you. Even if somebody pays you $5 to attend an event, statistically speaking, if they give you their credit card once, they're way more likely to buy from you again. So rather than going from like, hey, I don't really know you, to, hey, give me $400 to, start a business, instead of that, right, they can just pay you $5 to come to an event where you build a dream board, or you can pay $10 to come to a wine tasting or something like that. And you just train them to spend with you. I'm also going to show you how to create and fund a business bank account. So a lot of people, it's their first time starting a business, and you're used to, your employer paying for everything. When you start a business, there's just expenses that come up. So what I'm going to show you to do is create a business bank account and how to fund it through this bonus module, right? So you've got money that's coming into this bonus, into this account. And then from now on, I don't want you to ever have to make a decision ever again about like, can I afford this, right? You see this training by Ray Higdon, you're like, I want that. I don't want you to think about, can I afford it? I want you to think about, how much money is that going to make me, right? And so once you've got a business bank account with money in it, now you don't have to worry about it anymore. You want that training? Get it. You want to fly to a company event? Get it. You need a plane ticket? Get it. You can literally make decisions based on what's best for my business rather than what can I afford. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that in this bonus. And I'll also show you which tools to use to create staggered pricing for your events so you get a flood of early RSVPs. I'll also show you how Kat made over $5,000 from just one of these strategies. There are 7 of them. Just pick any one of them that you like, and that can pay for your course and then some. They are sponsorships, charging for events, joint ventures, annual fees, donations, business profit sharing, coaching, or digital products. A lot of them are easier than you might think, and literally just find one that you like, and it can cover everything for you. The last bonus is, I know I say they're all my favorite, but this one is pretty cool. It's one that I created recently. This is one of my students, Mia, and she says, Jimmie Jayes in our Facebook group. Jimmie Jayes, how do you handle it when you start getting a backlog of leads? I freaking love it. It might sound crazy that having too many leads could be a problem, but it actually is a problem. Like, how do you handle all of them? How do you keep it organized? So in this bonus, I show you how to use a CRM to manage your leads, a pipeline view. I give you some simple stuff you can do to have some automated email, so you're adding value to people who don't even be in there. So when you get to the point of having too many leads, it's not going to be a problem for you. So you got Meetup Marketer, all 5 modules, make your Meetup beautiful, fitness interview, travel interview, be an awesome speaker training. You've got 50 plus free locations as a bonus. You've got the profit modules, all 8 video lessons, the Too Many Leads bonus, and a private Facebook group in case you get stuck of other students of mine. And they're all great. I pop in there all the time and answer questions, but lots of times my students answer them before I do. And lots of my students now have bigger groups than I do as a result of this training. So you get all of that plus a $300 discount by buying right now, 3 payments of $167, or save an additional $104 by making 1 payment of $397. And I know we got some fellow Canucks on the line, some Canadians, and I know that the conversion rate can suck, and it sucks buying course in US dollars. I live in Canada, but a lot of my customers are in the US, so I charge in US dollars. So hopefully you can take advantage of the discount, and that will help you out with that with the conversion rate. Plus, you got the results guarantee. So as long as you do the work, if you don't get the results you want, follow the first 2 modules and we'll happily give you your money back. It's not like, hey, I got a vet bill, give me my money back. It's like, hey, I did the work and I didn't get results. And if you do that, we guarantee that you will get results. The first 10 are going to get that custom review. And like I said, I plan to raise the price this week. I'm very happy to give you the discount through Jennifer, or Jennifer is very happy to give you the discount, I guess I should say. But I can't do it forever, so I plan to raise the price this week. You watch the entire presentation, you want leverage, and you want prospects that treat you with respect, and you know this is an excellent value. So take advantage of the discount and the bonuses and the results guarantee now at meetupmarketer.com/wine. So, we got some questions in the group here. So, Zoe, hey, look at that. So Zoe says, congratulations to Amy. She met her husband through Meetup. So that is a first for me. Some of my best friends I've met through Meetup, but that's a new one. So I'm going to actually go back to my face here so you can not see my screen. I'm going to go through some questions. I got some people asking some compliance questions. I'll start off by saying, ask your leaders, not me. They're going to know more about compliance than me. But here's the other thing that I would say, okay? When you focus on going from stranger to friend as your first step, and that's what Meetup is stranger to friend, okay? That will change everything for you, okay? So you don't have, if you have an event where you're going to have a wine tasting, it doesn't have to be anything to do with direct sellers. You could literally go to a restaurant and you could sample some wine from the restaurant and that's it, right? Because your goal isn't to sell people at your Meetup event. It's literally just to make friends. So if you do something like that, you can absolutely have no compliance issues that way. Just have an event, go and drink wine. You're going to meet people who like wine, who become your friends. And then after the event, now you can invite them the way you normally would once they're friends to one of your direct sellers events. So hopefully that makes sense. Sorry, normally I use a different platform. So some of the questions here, I'm trying to get through them here. Bridget asks, do you think it's a good idea since I am in a no-ship state? We'll be using a big rig to get everyone the wine at some point. So if your expectation is that it's always going to be a no-ship state, then I wouldn't create a group. If it's a no-ship state right now, and in the future you're planning on or hoping that it's they are going to ship there, then absolutely, right? I for 6-7 months, I literally didn't have a company I could recruit people into, and I just still built a group, added value to people, and then bam, as soon as I was in a company, I had this list of 300 people. I literally called 42 of them. 42 out of 42 agreed to sit down and see the presentation. 42 out of 42 actually showed up. And of the 42, 25 of them got started. So, I mean, if you can spend the time building relationships, if you can spend the time where people look to you as the authority, that's the important part. Making new friends has endless possibilities. Absolutely. Let me show you. Joe says, how do people fail with this strategy other than executing and trying to sell first? How do people fail with this strategy other than not executing and trying to sell first? So I think, Joe, your question is, if somebody follows the system and they legitimately are making friends first and not selling, if they do all that stuff right, what other whatever pitfalls are there, what other ways to fail are there? So the other ways to fail, one way would be that you create a group that isn't successful. Right? There's some groups that, for whatever reason, they don't get legs, but you have the ability to create up to 3 groups on Meetup for the same price. So what I would say is once you have some ideas, you're probably going to come up with a couple different ideas for groups, okay? Go through and use that test to figure out which one you should start first. And if you want to create multiple groups, go ahead. Another way people fail is they create groups around what they think they should do. So a friend of mine is in a company and her upline told her that the successful people in that company are all stay-at-home moms, and she's a mom herself. So she tried to create a group a couple of different times, 2 different groups, where it was all about meeting other stay-at-home moms. And everything looked great about it. It should have worked, and it just didn't. And I talked to her and said, we were talking about something totally different. She happens to be a friend outside of the course. And she was telling me that she had done a different event that was not on Meetup. She said it was just 6 or 7 of us together that were entrepreneurs. We got together, and we just talked about business and where we were stuck, and it was amazing. It was so much fun. And I was like, why is your Meetup group not about that? That's what your group should be. You already love doing it. You're doing it anyways. Make your group about that. And so she created her group about that, and now it's really successful. And it's only been a couple of weeks, but she's already got a bunch of people that have joined it, and she loves doing it. So I think a way to fail is by doing stuff that you don't actually like because you think that it's who you should talk to, and that's a big pitfall. Another one is lack of consistency. So people will they'll be like, they'll do 7 events 1 month, and then they'll go 5 months without doing anything, and then they'll try to do 7 again. It really is being consistent and building relationships with people. And whether it's Meetup or not, I think one of the best ways to prospect people is to do it in a way, especially if you're nervous about it, is to do it in a way where you're going to see them again. That way there's not so much pressure that you have to get their phone number or you have to do it all right the first time. So even if you're talking to the person at Starbucks, which isn't my favorite thing, but even if you did that, at least you know that you can see that person multiple times. Every time you go back, they'll still be there, and there's less pressure. So Meetup's great the same way that you can still see people again and again and again. You don't have to recruit them the first time you see them. If you mess up the initial launch, can you recover? Yes, it just takes more time. Because there's a compound effect. If you do great on the launch, not only does that get you more people, but then the Meetup search and Google search, you rank higher because you have a more successful group. So yes, you can recover, but if your group has less than 300 members, I would suggest, like if it's been a couple months and you've got less than 300 members and you've already started a group, I would suggest creating a new group. And then if you want, once that group is successful, then you can invite people from your old group to join your new group. I'm going to go through a couple commonly asked questions here, and I also want to show you an example here. So here is an example from Liza. All right, so I did a smaller webinar here for some of your leaders a week ago, and Liza got started just a couple of days ago, and she went through the prepare section, came up with some ideas, and she literally created this group August 21st. So she created the group late. Yeah, it must have been late. So so she created it on the 21st. It got approved on the 22nd. So yesterday it got approved. She's already got 21 people that have joined her group. Oh, look at that. Refresh. 22 people now. 24 people now. Okay. So she got 24 people that have joined her group. It's called Young Entrepreneurs Having Fun. All right. And this is just what Liza's about, right? She's young and likes to have fun. So this group is for young entrepreneurs wanting to get out and have fun. We will do things like mimosa brunches, happy hour places we can actually hear each other, power hours where we get together and do work sessions, wine pairings, game nights, Top Golf, Dave & Buster's, and learning how to get your social media picture perfect for biz, right? Here's some events that she's doing. She's got 4 people already coming to her first event, and she literally, this is like less than 24 hours, this group has been approved, okay? She also has 2 other ideas for groups. One's going to be a happy hour meetup, and one of them is going to be around raw food and some veganism stuff. Has nothing to do with wine, but it doesn't matter because she's going to meet a bunch of people that have the same interests as hers, become friends, and once they're friends, then turn those into business partners and customers. So hopefully that helps. Do you offer support? You're not going to get like my personal phone number and call me whenever you want or something like that. But we do have a private Facebook group, and I asked in the group on a scale of 0 to 10, how would you rate the support? A bunch of different 10s because you actually, and what is the primary reason for your score? 10, because you actually engage with the customers and students. 10, top notch, those will never change. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 for the same reasons, engagement, responsiveness, and quality of responsiveness. So, and I can't take credit for that. A lot of the other students are answering questions in there, and they're just, super helpful that way. Another question I've been getting specifically recently is, hey, Ray Higdon just came out with this awesome training. I know your leader's been hearing about it and been talking about it. So should I do Ray Higdon or should I do Meetup, right? Which is a fantastic question. And here is the answer that I would give you. First of all, just take a little bit of self-inventory. If you've got a big list of people and you want to increase your skill set at talking to them, if you already got a bunch of friends and family to talk to that you haven't called yet, he's going to show you what to say, how to do it, and he'll help you with that friend to customer portion or friend to business partner portion. If you want to grow the number of people that are on your list, then I would go with Meetup. And then even if your closing rate stays the same, you can still increase your closing rate by getting in front of a lot more people. And ultimately, what I would say, if it was, I know this is, how do I say this? So when I was, if anybody who read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it's the best-selling business book of all time. He says that the difference between being an employee and a business owner isn't just different, it's 180 degrees opposite. So as an employee, the question is, how much does it cost? How can I save money? As a business owner, the question is, how can I get a return on investment? Meaning that if you're investing, or if you're starting a business, the question isn't how much is it going to cost, it's how much money is it going to make me back? That's the real question you should be asking. So, if you're in a position where you can swing it, personally, I think it's a great combo if you can have both. If you can get in front of a lot more people and if you can increase your skill set. So if you can increase your skill set of going from stranger to friend and increase your skill set of going from friend to business partner or customer, I think that's a great combo. And when I was doing the math, I think it's less than $200 to get started with Ray, $400 to get started here. So if that's $600, if you were to, for the next 2 years, if you were to just increase your income by, let's say, $35 a month. So if your network marketing income went up by $35 a month, no extra work, you just kept doing what you were doing, but you started making an extra $35. Actually, let's do this. Let's say $10 a week because you guys get paid weekly. Okay, so that's $40 a month. Over the next 2 years, that is $960. Now, I think that if you got started with both of these trainings and you only made an extra $10 a week, you'd probably be disappointed, right? You probably wouldn't give me a great testimonial. But here's the thing. That means you just took $600 and turned it into $960, right? So that is an 80% return on investment. Right? No guarantees. I mean, in business, it's scary. You're doing an investment where your only return on investment is based on the work that you put in, and I can't guarantee your success. I can guarantee that I'll give you your money back if you don't create a successful group, but I can't guarantee any income claim. Neither can anybody in your upline. Okay, but if you were to make an extra $10 a week as a result of taking both of our trainings, in 2 years from now, you'd have made an 80% per year return on investment. Right? I mean, I think most banks give like 1% or 10%. So I wouldn't look at cost. I'd look at return on investment. That's my answer. If you have to choose between one of them, I would say, do you need more prospects or do you need to know what to say to those prospects? So is the problem that you have to go from friend to from customer, from business partner to, can't even talk. Do you need to go from stranger to friend? Do you need to get a bunch of new friends? If the answer is yes, then Meetup. If you've got a huge list and you want to go from friend to business partner, friend to customer, then use Ray. But I love his stuff. And if you can do both, I would suggest both. How many people do I have to be comfortable speaking in front of? My answer is 5. You can put a limit on your events, but if it's less than 5, you're not really getting leverage. Do I need to be an expert? No. David didn't even teach the yoga. So when David did his event, he got a yoga teacher. His space was the beach, so it was free. And so the yoga teacher was happy because he got in front of, I think, 37 or 38 new customers for his potential prospects for his yoga studio. All people that attended were happy because they got free yoga. And David was happy because he met a bunch of new friends for his business. So Melissa says, boom, consistency. Who was the babe with the purple hair in that first pic? I don't know. Stacy says, I got my hands in a lot of different trainings right now, but I would love to do this when I hit my cold market. Fantastic. If you have your hands in a lot of different trainings right now, it might make sense to wait. However, if you're not in your cold market yet, so really Stacy has almost like two statements right now. One statement is I'm doing a lot of trainings, and the other statement is I'm not in my cold market yet. Okay, so I'm going to forget the first statement for a second of I'm doing a lot of trainings right now, because there's a good chance if you're doing a lot of trainings, you need to focus. So I totally agree with that. However, the second comment of I want to do this when I hit my cold market, here's the thing. You can wait until your cold market is at 0, and then you can start building new relationships, and you're going to have a couple month lag while you're building relationships. Or you can start building relationships right now inside of your meetup group while you're working with your warm market. And that way you're just replacing that warm market all the time. Okay, so by the time your warm market's gone, you've got a new warm market that you've been developing for the last 4 months. So hopefully that helps. Joe says, my wife has purple hair. I'm building every day at the same time, so I understand what you're saying on this new platform. Zoe, is there any questions that are in there that I didn't answer? Compliance. Can we charge people?
I'll just pipe in here, Jimmy, and say this is Joe here. Sherry won't mind. I definitely appreciate it. I think there's outstanding ideas in here. So I know there's a lot of us are pretty excited about it and already pulled the trigger. But we definitely appreciate this for sure. And I agree with what you say about Ray Higdon versus, this training as well. And if we can do both, absolutely. I'm a huge fan of just, meeting more people. That's what we got to do. I think we do a good job of teaching people what to do with people once they, meet them. But it's the social media skills and everything that we got to expand to meet more people. And this is a great way of doing it efficiently. By the way, somebody's going to the bathroom, so you should have muted yourselves.
Well, thank you very much, Joe. I'm really excited to see what you build for your own group, and I really appreciate leaders like yourself. That you're at a point and a level where if you stopped recruiting right now, you'd be good for a real long time. And the fact that you're leading by example and and doing it anyways, I think that's just phenomenal. I'd love to know what was your number one takeaway, Joe, or your number one reason that you decided that you wanted to get started in Meetup Marketer?
Mine was I feel like things go in wave, and once you escape out of a warm market, you build that, you just gotta continue to grow. And the whole name of the game for network marketing is continue adding to your list. And I personally, for the last couple of years, have been working off a warm market, but where we hit the wall is in meeting new people. So, and I think it's just Facebook has become so salesy that I think people have a hard time connecting with people, and this gives people a way to connect with people in person. And I think our business also, specifically our wine business, is a great way to get back to socializing with people.
Yeah. Yep. Great point. And actually, Meetup was created right after 9/11, and it was created to help get people off of their phones and into person meeting each other in New York. So that's why it was created. And it's interesting the difference between Facebook and Meetup is that just because somebody's on Facebook doesn't mean that they're there because they want to meet new friends or they want to join a business or anything like that. I mean, some people are on Facebook because they want to see pictures of their grandkids. That's it. Every single person who joins Meetup because they want to do more stuff that they love in their city and they want to meet new people. That's why they join. So every single person on there, once they join your business, right, they're already an extrovert. Or if they are an introvert, they're at least willing to get over it to get in front of new people. So when you do get people that join you, they're just it's a really good combination of a type of person because they're on Meetup because they want to meet people. Somebody said they spend $500 right now per month on Facebook ads, and I know what that's all about. Oh, that was you, Joe.
Yeah. You started that, and you hope to just get your $500 back by meeting a couple of people, one-on-one conversations.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, it's great if you know how to do it, and you just have to have the budget to be able to do it. So I think Meetup's a great place to start. Your risk is $20 a month, and I mean, if you enroll one person a year, you're going to pay your $20 back. Not to mention the fact that you can charge for events and do different things like that. So that's awesome. There's lots of I'm ins. Kara says I'm in. Thanks, Jen. So absolutely. Zoe, if you are already in and you haven't said so, make sure you pop it in the box so that Zoe can write your name down for that bonus. And yeah, I mean, to everybody that took your time out of the night tonight, I mean, we're a very long webinar, and I really appreciate us from the West or East Coast. You guys, it's late out there, so I appreciate everybody being on here. And for those of you that got started in Meetup Marketer, I'm really excited to continue the conversation with you in Meetup Marketer. And for everybody, regardless of whether you join or not, I really, really hope that you got value today. I really hope that there's some things you can take away from this, and whether it's Meetup or not, I hope you adopt the philosophy of make friends, show your friends your business, and stay friends whether they join you or not, because it really is a great way to do business.
The last thing I'll say too is, since I have started it and I just started going through module 1 and 2, it's very well laid out. You made your professional videos. You definitely walk people through this, so I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I think a lot of people who build courses think that the goal is to give everybody like as much information as possible, but really it's the organization of information, right? I just want to know like what's the 20% of stuff that makes 80% of the difference. And so I set the course up in a way where I literally walk you through it step by step by step of here's the most important things so that you can just get up and running and making money. And then after that, there's a bunch of stuff in the bonus section, stuff that I didn't even mention today. So once your group is up, once you're making money, then you can go back and kind of, go through those other things. But I want you to be able to get up and running as fast as possible so that you can just get some quick wins. I mean, as you saw earlier here with Liza, like 24 members, right? Day number 2. And when stuff like that happens, then you get excited and you want to do the next event, and you're excited to go through the next module because there's people that are in your group. And when you see it working, it's easy to put the work in. So I really appreciate that. And I really hope that you enjoy the rest of the training. And like I said, the private Facebook group, there's a bunch of people from direct sellers all joining together, which is cool because you can kind of do it at the same time and tell each other what's working. And I really dig that part.
Yep.
All right. Well, anything else before we go?
Nope, but I definitely think that I can get 2 more people over the next year just to join us using this. That's our money. That's our break even on this is 2 people.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jimmie. That was so valuable.
You're very welcome.
That's Sherry. Yeah.
No, thank you for the discount, Jen. That's really awesome that we're able to get that nice discount. So, like this type of thing, like we always kind of gravitate towards just, messaging people on social media and trying to get in front of people that way. But this is really thinking outside the box. And, for a lot of people struggling on social media right now, this could really take them to the next level, especially if they like Meetup, if they like, partying and hanging out with other people, not just partying, but, gathering with other people and making friends, in person. This could really be a game changer for them. So we really thank you for this info.
Well, you are very welcome. Looking forward to working with everybody. If there's any other questions that we missed here, you can go ahead and send them to support@jimmiejayes.com. I will pop that in the chat box. That is my email address if you need anything. If for some reason you take the course and you go through the modules and you do the work and you don't get results, that's also the email address to use. So you can just write it down. And if for any reason, not a good fit for you after you've gone through it, let us know. We're happy to give you a refund. There's also a little button right in the back office there that says help if you need something. So thanks so much, everybody. And look forward to seeing you in the back office.
Awesome.
All right. Take care.
Time. Appreciate it.
Definitely.
All right. Bye, guys.
Thanks.
Next week.